Coming at you from New Jersey, the capital of misery, and the place where metal forgot to die.
This is a Here Lies Metal Too Many Notes New Music Review. I'm Samantha.
And I'm Maledictus, and once again we shall be your overlords for today and all of eternity. Welcome! What is this?
This is Superterrestrial, which is a word I find very difficult to say.
Superterrestrial.
Superterrestrial.
It's a bit of a mouthful.
With their album, The Fathomless Decay. This band is black metal from Crawley, England.
Creepy Crawley, England.
It's a very English-sounding
Crawley.
Crawley. Formed in 2017, Superterrestrial is John Knox on bass, Tom Logan on drums, Martin Schuler on guitars and vocals, and Warren King on guitars and vocals. This is their third album, follow-up to 2019's The Void That Exists, and it came out, this album came out, The Fathomless Decay, on January 27th, 2023, independently on Bandcamp and streaming, and on cassettes via Green Flaw Productions. Although I would just say I have not heard this band before. All those three albums are unknown to me, so I am just judging on the merits of this album.
Let us get underway. It's now time for the 5-point bi-directional classification scale, including the categories genre, loyalty, listenability, production style, music complexity, and just plain fun. Neither end of these scales means good or bad. Let's go. True or nonconform.
All right. Our first scale of genre, true to nonconformist, we are getting a 4 in the nonconformist side, which I think is breaking a streak for us. We've been doing a lot of true albums. And I have very mixed feelings about giving this score because there's a lot on this album that is true black metal, specifically second wave melodic and or atmospheric. You know, you've got the blast beats, the icy cold atmosphere, the black metal vocal, the standard issue black metal riffs, and melodic guitar lines. But we also have weird riffs, weird space riffs. We have sections that I can only describe as death metal chugging and rhythms at parts. We have gazy sections and lighter sections that I can only describe as post. You know what I mean when I say post?
You know those bands.
Post elements.
Yes.
And we also have extended space ambient synths. The album opens on a scary space synth that goes directly into some true black metal. That's kind of a mission statement for the whole thing. So just check out that first song. And it's like, this is what it is. And I do also like there's a lot of just, you know, straight black metal blast beats on here, but I also feel like they varied up on the drumming a bit, you know, put, you know, like a less creative band would put a blast beat there. They're doing something, you know, a little bit different sometimes in the drumming. So I appreciate that as well.
I don't know. Does black metal usually mess with such cosmic issues?
I think maybe I've seen maybe one other band, but I didn't like music.
I mean,
so I'm going to say this is the only band.
Yeah, first black metal band in space. That's a milestone. I mean, I know Fenris likes space, but he's not black metal. You know, he loves space, but he's not making this music, right? So
not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
But I'm sure he liked space back then still.
Yeah, he just wasn't, you know, making songs about it. So yeah, these guys are the first. I'm going to give these guys the you know, in the space race of black metal, I'm going to give these guys the first, okay? Just do the neck.
They're behind death metal, but...
okay, death metal loves space. They've been in space for a while. They're very advanced. They're very advanced civilization.
In the name of black metal.
Yeah, black metal less civilized people than death metal people.
It's not the cold, frigid winds of Norway.
Yeah,
it's the cold emptiness of space.
It's a different kind of
cold.
savage place.
It is very cold. It's actually colder in space.
It's colder, and there's no air, too. So
suck it.
They can't hear you scream.
Scandinavia.
And you die. So anyway, you know, I always thought black metal, like we were talking about, black metal is very warlike. You know, the people of black metal are very warlike dwellers of the frozen tundra where the grass is ice, they're always fighting each other. And there's no rockets there, right? Not one rocket, because they can't figure that out. They got wooden ships, right? How are they going to get rockets? But maybe these guys decide to put aside their differences and move forward, reach for the stars, and bring peace to the universe. And, you know...
Peace?
Or maybe not peace. Maybe they have less benevolent.
They're bringing angst to the universe.
Maybe less benevolent aspirations to conquer space, as opposed to I think the death metal people are really just exploring the dark regions and not really trying to bring any hatred or war.
They're just witnessing cosmic horrors.
They're just witnessing it. They're exploring, but they're not finding nice things.
All right.
Right.
Let's move on.
Okay.
The score of Terror. Sonic Terror to Distorted Pop. You're getting a 1.5 for Sonic Terror. So obviously the black metal is really pulling the score down here. The album is, as we said, cold, angular. There's a screaming black metal guy and blast beats. The synth sections, they are a reprieve, but they are also scary and cold. I wouldn't call them nice or comforting. I also shout out to the really mean track, the meanest riff on the album, on track 6. But even on those harsh sections, they put a lot of effort into making interesting melodic choices, keeping the sound interesting, engaging, whether they're doing the conventional black metal or they're doing the less conventional riffs. It really does, they sound very musically varied. And the gazy sections obviously are pulling this more into the listenable side as well. But overall, I find the transitions between the distinct styles on this album make it more interesting, more listenable. My biggest problem with black metal is always I find it a little monotonous, and this album is the opposite of that. So still Sonic Terror though.
Yes. It's mostly terrifying black metal, as one would expect from a black metal band. Terrifying black metal, right? But once in a while, you get a synth break or some non-distorted guitar slow down or some breakdown in order to give you a little bit of breath of air. So, but the score is accurate. Next, Fisher Price or High Production. I'm going to give this a 3. And I know this appears to be a fully staffed band according to the lineup list there. And, and I consider myself a little bit of an expert on this, but I'm listening to the drum. As I'm listening to all of the little nuances of these albums, I'm listening to the drums. They sound a little bit too perfect or real. Now, if you're the band listening, comment down below.
To be real?
Yeah, they sound they sound a little bit too...
They sound fake.
They sound fake. In other words,
I'm not an expert. I also assume they were fake.
Yeah, I think anyone can notice it, right? So not to be mean, but they don't sound real, right? And that's that's fine. A lot of people do that in these days.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's not like a but. Yeah, but if they are real, if I'm wrong here, then you get a huge, you get extra points for production if that's the fact. But if you guys are listening, comment down below. Let me know. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Actually, the only things that have that genuine black metal that Fisher Price authentic black metal feel are the vocals definitely have that that authentic kind of genuine feel to them. The guitars are pretty well balanced and mixed. I don't seem to hear a bass. I know there's a bass player in the lineup, but I don't seem but this is black metal. It's not something you have to do. And no, this recording, I understand this recording takes place mostly in space. And so there's an occasional appearance of some sort of organ or synth device, some sort of keyed device, to uphold that space theme and to get them, from one planet to the other, to navigate. So I know you need that, and that just works. So yeah, so there you go. Next is Not Enough Notes or Too Many Notes, and I'm going to give it a 3.5. And yes, there's a lot of notes here. There's liberal use of the black metal scale here. The black metal scale, you hear it all the time. I'm just going to call it the black metal scale. They should just call it that in music theory, the black metal scale, right? And the black metal scales require a little bit of theoretical knowledge, as you know. It's not rock and roll. It's not the blues scale, right? Each song has lots of riffs, lots of variations, lots of tempo changes. Some of the tracks are a bit lengthy too. So they have to, when you have a lengthy song, you have to remember a lot of different parts that keep changing. So, there's some musical knowledge here, some musical expertise here. These guys aren't, even though they live in ice caves, they don't play music like ice cavemen. They play music like more advanced space people in that aspect. So yeah, there you go.
All right, our final scale of fun to focused. We're getting a 5 for focused here. We are combining black metal with astronomy themes, which are not fun topics generally.
Some people, they like that. They think that's fun.
I don't like science people who try to make science really fun.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought science was fun, but then when I grew up, I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. Even astronomy. So yeah. So like we were talking about previously, though, it's very inspiring to see these men put down their swords and shields and emerge from the ice caves and the tundra wastes and reach for the stars. But that takes knowledge, that takes research, that takes a lot of focus and a little bit of guts. But I wonder if, they were introduced. I was kind of thinking, maybe some black metal band came and visited their planet. I'm sorry, maybe some death metal band came and visited and broke the Prime Directive and was like, and showed them, how to do that. Or they figured it out themselves. I don't know. But, you're not supposed to give technology to pre-warp civilizations. And death metal is post-warp civilization. These.
I mean, it depends what death metal you're listening to.
Well, yeah, it depends what death metal you're listening to. Yeah, not all some death metal just want to rip guts out of bodies, right? Others want to go through the horror, explore the horrors, the horrible parts of
Even
space.
though I gave this a 5, I do really like black metal. It's not called like the frigid winter.
There's a lot of that, right?
Or like something about Odin, or like
there's always that, right? But black metal doesn't have to be about that.
I don't know. Like I can always I know what it sounds like already. Here, it's like I do like the space theme, even though astronomy I wouldn't consider a fun subject.
Yes. I wish you guys a very safe voyage through the cosmos. Hope you don't end up in the same place where Blood Incantation ended up in space. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you guys won't be ready for that.
They seem fine.
Yeah, maybe you guys will be able to handle yourselves, but it's tough out there. It's rough out there.
So artwork is credit to Martin Schuler, the man himself in the band. So we have a band
made his own artwork.
Did the art themselves.
Let's see, the Fathomless Decay. Okay, so that's pretty simple there.
You should go to Bandcamp.
Simple. Okay, we'll go to the Bandcamp one.
It's not any less simple, but that's the actual picture.
Bigger picture there. All right, so this is very simple, I must say. He could have just generated it on a 3D program. That little sphere there, but it's like a dark sphere, right?
So they found a dark planet.
Yeah, or it's like a dark planet. Black planet. Black planet. It's like that Sisters of Mercy song. But
it's cracking open.
And it's something coming out of it. Right, and
great power.
It's what it
dark
is.
Planet.
It's a rogue planet. When what that is, it's just a planet floating through space. It's not part of a solar system, right? There's some kind of reflection on it here, though. Maybe that's like a distant star or something. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is in a solar system. I can't tell, right? But I'm just thinking a rogue planet. It just sounds scarier. Just a planet flying through space with not part of anything, that's kind of scary.
It's a dark entity that they have encountered.
Yeah, maybe it's an alien, maybe it's a being.
They're within a section of space called the Fathomless Decay.
Yeah, you guys are going to the same. Well, I think you guys are going to somewhat different places than like someone like Blood Incantation. Like they're kind of in a different thing. But spaces. But it seems to me, as all you listening to the tales of all you space travelers, it's not a nice place. I haven't seen one black metal band or death metal band talk about how nice space is. It's not like Rush or something telling you how cool space is, something like that. Or like Hawkwind or something tell you, there's drugs in space and it's awesome.
I do like the logo of the band as well.
Yeah, that's
as far as black metal, like it's definitely like setting themselves apart.
Yeah,
because I feel like so much of black metal is just kind of like by the book as far as the aesthetics go.
Yeah, it's very angular.
On both the subject matter and how the logo looks and what their album cover looks like.
Yeah. It's an unreadable logo, but it's a different kind.
Just very different.
Yeah, it's a different kind of unreadable logo, right? It kind of has a symmetry to it. It has like a angular symmetry to it, but it's still kind of unreadable.
But if you put that on the road by a stop sign, you'd be able to read it like normal from your car.
I guess.
You know how those physics work on writing on the road. All right, never mind.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe if you put it like on the ground,
like if you look bird's eye down on the word stop on the ground, it looks like that.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I see what you're going with.
Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I get that on my small brain could do that.
In conclusion, I actually almost missed and did not review this album because I'm not typically a big black metal person. I say as I wear a Darkthrone shirt, notably Eternal Hail's Darkthrone shirts. Obviously not a normal black metal person. Don't like very stereotypical black metal, and there is a very stereotypical, or you could say like true sound to this album that is running throughout it, which caused me to initially just kind of put it into my like regular rotation and not my review rotation. But as I was listening it just to in my slower rotation, I just kept coming back to it and to the more interesting parts, the interesting riffs, and the synth choices, and just the whole thing as a composition. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna review this. This is interesting. This is more than I thought it was on first listen. So I think that says a lot about an album. But yeah, so yeah, I'm recommending a black metal album, so you know what that means. Is that it's not normal, and I recommend it for both people who like normal black metal and people who don't.
There it is. So
thank you for listening. This has been the Here Lies Metal Too Many Notes New Music Review.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, ring that bell, all that stuff, right? And nice to see you all again. Hopefully you enjoyed this show. We'll see you again soon with another one. Good night.